Hello everyone. This is the Mᴉndatory show with me, of course, Shandor. And today I was thinking that I'm gonna bring for you some books. So first I was thinking that I'm gonna bring for you this book, The Half Earth. It's written by E.O. Wilson. This was written in 2016. But before I'm gonna tell about anything about this book, I was thinking that I'm gonna do a little introduction about the author. So basically, Wilson was a biologist and a Pulitzer Prize winner. Unfortunately, he died in 2016. He had an idea, and this he presented for people because he was hopeful about that we can change for the good. He has children, so he wanted to open humanity's eyes about dangers because he wanted a good future of the future generation, like me. Like that's why I'm doing these shows also, because I want to do something good for the future generation. He was worrying the current rate of biodiversity loss threatens the future of the life on the earth. This thought was formed because he had the opportunity exploring jungles, oceans and hidden corners of our planet. He saw the changes through his life, how forests were vanishing, oceans were choking on plastic, and creatures were disappearing faster than we could name them. Let me tell you, this will be even worse than now for the earth and for us if we continue what we are doing daily. So yeah, Wilson realized that something drastically need to be done. He was desperately searching a solution for the problem. Therefore he visioned Half Earth, this one. Wilson proposed a radical idea, which is set aside half of the planet for living things, which is not humans. These places humans would not tread, so nature could heal and regenerate. He believed that this could change the world. Picture a world divided into two, one half for humans and the other half untouched, wild and free. He thought that this would be the solution for the balance where humans and nature could coexist in harmony, but as always, people didn't like the idea. I'm saying it because nowadays we have so much alternatives from smart scientists and we're still not using these tools nationwide, sadly because of greediness and laziness. So people told him that it's impossible, impractical and even selfish. But Wilson didn't give up and presented many facts and figures about lost species and dying ecosystems. He spoke of the importance of biodiversity and the interact web of life that sustain all of us. Unfortunately, powerful forces like corporation and politicians challenged him and didn't want to bow down in front of his idea. Therefore, in form of a book, Wilson made it available for every humans around the world. In this book, we are reminded that the future of our planet lies in our hands, of course, as always. But do you think we can dedicate half of the planet's land and sea for the nature? Because I think this bold vision challenge our anthropocentric world view and our place in the universe. Can we accept that fact that he is right? It is not just the theory from Wilson. Actually, he is explaining how interconnected species are and how the loss of one can have far-reaching consequences. He also highlights the economic and social benefits of preserving biodiversity, from climate regulation to medicine and recreation. His book called to action. He offers a roadmap outlining potential strategies and inspiring hope. The core idea is simple yet profound. Protect half of the earth's land and seas for nature. So, but how we could do that? First, let's dive into the targets and objectives. The first target is 50% planet protection. This would create a vast network of interconnected ecosystem, allowing species to thrive and adapt to changing conditions. The second is biodiversity conservation. This aims to prevent mass extinction and maintaining the intricate web of life that support all ecosystem. The third is climate change mitigation, because healthy ecosystem play a crucial role in regulation the climate. Protecting half the earth can help more efficiently capture carbon dioxide. Coastal areas could be protected from rising sea levels and could reduce our impact on climate change. The fourth one is human well-being. A healthy planet is essential for human well-being. The Half Earth Project recognizes the interdependence of humans and nature and aims to secure the resources and services that ecosystem provide. Lastly, indigenous rights. The project emphasizes the importance of recognizing and respecting the right of indigenous people, who are often the best steward of the land. Now let's see what strategies and approaches need to reach these targets. The first, we definitely need scientific researches. Identify critical biodiversity hotspots and areas essentially for ecosystem function. The second is data mapping, developing advanced mapping and data analysis tools to inform conservation planning and decision making. The third is global collaboration, building partnership with governments and local communities to promote collaborative conservation efforts. The fourth is one of, I think, the most important thing that we really need to change is policy advocacy, advocating for policies that support biodiversity conservation and the creation of protected area. And lastly, public engagement. What I'm doing right now as well, I think many people should do that in the daily life, which means raising awareness about the importance of biodiversity and inspiring public support for the Half Earth vision. And as every idea has challenges but also opportunities too. Personally, if I want to argue about the idea, I think this half planet, the idea that half of the earth is for the nature and half of the earth for the humans, I think it could create something like this, which is, I think, not the best vision, let's say, because this area definitely is gonna be where people living, probably people thinking that like, oh, half earth is thriving, that's fine, then we can do whatever what we want in with the other half. I think it's not really sustainable. Therefore, in my opinion, I think it would be better not just divide the planet into nature, but introduce nature into our place, such as like this looking way better with sustainable ideas, with sustainable tools between us. There is many plants, flowers and animals all around, because if you're just doing all these things with half of the planet, it's not gonna help, because the earth is like a globe, so everything is going around and one of the half is for humans and they ruining the planet, then the other half as well gonna feel the consequences. So I think it's better to combine nature and our place together. I think it's time to connect emotionally with the natural world. We must love the nature because it brings for us joy and wonder to our lives. We comes from nature, by the way, and we are actually nature too. But apart from that, let's go back to his book and find out what are the challenges from his ideas. So the first challenge is basically there is a really big competition land and sea uses between humans and against animals. because humans try to use as much from the earth resources as they can. This is not really sustainable because as the resources gonna finish, then what we gonna do? So it's a really big challenge that we realize that like we need to take care of our resources and try to recycle into the earth. The second challenge is financial resource, of course, because it's all about money. Everything is money. So if you have an idea and you don't have money, you can't turn it into something good, which I feel it's a nonsense. It shouldn't be these days, but it is what it is. So therefore needs securing financial resources to manage protected areas. And the third challenge is governance and enforcement, because basically we as the whole humanity, we need to ensure effective governance and enforcement of laws. So therefore we need to push our leaders to change the laws which is affect in a good way the nature and can thrive again. But apart from this, he also explored the spiritual and philosophical dimension of our relationship with the planet on his book. With this, he wants to highlight our role as a steward of creation. The book is filled with stories of individuals and organizations working tirelessly to protect the nature, and it's a big respect for them. I want to be part of it, hopefully really soon, because this is the real job what we should do, protect our nature. The another works what is doing me daily is, to be honest, useless. These real life heroes, our light, they are demonstrating that change is possible, even if it's overwhelming. So these people are groundbreaking scientists. Wilson highlights researchers who are unlocking the mystery of biodiversity, from insects to the depth of the ocean. Their work provides the scientific foundation for conservation effects and efforts. The second, the dedicated conservationist, passionate individuals who have dedicated their lives to protecting species and ecosystem. These are the people on the front lines battling deforestation, poaching and pollution. So it's a big applause for them, and just keep going, and I hope more and more people gonna join you guys, because I'm with you. I'm gonna join as well as soon as possible, possibly in the next year anyway. And the third people, these are the indigenous leaders. So indigenous people have critical role in preserving biodiversity. Here, Wilson shares stories of indigenous communities that have successfully managed their land and waters for generations, offering invaluable knowledge and practices. And also he mentioned organizations too in his book, such as Global Conservation Giants, the Nature Conservancy and the World Wildlife Fund. These groups have a proven track record of protecting large-scale ecosystems and influencing policies. The another organizations are grassroots initiatives. They are smaller, community-based organizations working to conserve local biodiversity. These groups often operate on limited resources but achieve remarkable results through their deep connection to the land and people. And last one is innovative partnership. So it's between government agencies and private companies. With all these examples, he wants to show us the power of working together so we can address complex environment challenges. Ultimately, Half Earth is a book about hope, offering a vision of a planet where humans and nature coexist in harmony, and Wilson inspires us to become active participants in shaping a better future. So I really advise this book to read. It's a really good book. You're gonna learn a lot of things that how you can help the ecosystem and nature and different species to thrive, and also helps you to understand why it's important that to take care of our nature and have to become a steward for this planet. Now let's move on to the second book, and this book is this one. It's called Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. This book is quite old. This was published in 1962, but it's actually a really good book because it's talk about that how people with a good movement can change something which they thought that it was good, but actually it was bad. Therefore, they made changes to create something good. So Rachel Carson was a marine biologist and writer, and she died in 1964. So basically after 2 years when she published this book. The Silent Spring is kind of an environmental movement against DDT and other pesticides. DDT is a synthetic insecticide, was hailed as a miracle weapon against insect-borne diseases like malaria, and used it worldwide. However, Carson's research revealed its dark side. In her book, she documented the devastating consequences of these chemicals on wildlife, particularly birds. Through vivid imagery and scientific evidence, Carson exposed how DDT accumulates in the food chain, reaching lethal levels in top predators like birds of prey. The book documented the decline and disappearance of birds population once abundant throughout North America because the eggshells was too thin, and this leading to catastrophic reproduction failures. She gave this title Silent Spring because she wanted to create a chilling picture of a future without bird songs. The potential consequences of unchecked environmental pollution. So she spoke of birds falling from the sky, their bodies weakened by the deadly chemicals. She also write about rivers transformed into lifeless channels. Therefore, she urged us to question what can happen if manipulate nature without considering the long-term consequences. Like now, these days as well, we not really think of what is going to be the long-term consequences about our actions and ideas, and we doing things headlessly. And as you can feel right now with temperatures, with climate is already happening some things which is gonna be unpredictable in the future and even worse. So I really also, not just because of the book, but I also encourage you that before you do anything, just think about the long-term consequences, because sometimes even if you think it's a good thing, it may become bad in the long term, and you're gonna affect everyone, not just yourself, and that's a bad thing. It shouldn't have happened. You don't have the right to do that. If you're doing something that affecting someone else, you need to stop straight away. If not, you can do it, it's your life. So luckily Carson's work helped to achieve an environmental awareness and inspired activists to fight for a cleaner and healthier planet. Millions of people began to listen, to see and to understand the causes of DDT, and therefore with her book created a movement. The book led to step towards regulating pollutants and protecting public health by the US Environmental Protection Agency in 1970. So hey, even if she couldn't be between us when it happened, it still happened, and it's a big thanks for this book. So that's why I'm advising to read to feel what she was felt in those times when people thought that was something good and she fight against it. So basically this was one of the most dramatic changes, was that they banned DDT worldwide. And it was a good movement because DDT entered the environment continuously through human activities such as agricultural use, like this. So all time the agricultural use, they spread the DDT in a way that they spray all around and people were walking so they could inhale as well. The most common method was through spraying crops to control pests. This released DDT directly into the soil and the water. The second way they made is aerial spraying. As you can see in here, the DDT was often sprayed from airplanes to combat insect-borne disease like malaria. These disperse the chemical widely into the atmosphere. Then another way how DDT could go into the environment is through industrial waste. The manufacturing process of DDT also released the chemical into the environment, and let's not forget that as the DDT went into the environment, then basically DDT could be released by runoff, such as rain. And rainwater carried DDT from treated field into rivers, lakes and oceans. And all this was a big problem because once in the environment the DDT get in, it was persistent, which means it breaks down very slowly. Therefore this allowed it to accumulate in the food chain, causing significant harm to wildlife. But also in agricultural areas, because people suffer from ecological imbalance due to the decline of pollinators and beneficial insects. Also affected coastal areas because marine life was severely impacted by pesticides runoff, leading to decline in fish population and disruption in the delicate balance of aquatic ecosystem. And it was affected developing countries as well, because many developing nations continue to use DDT anyway for malaria control, and therefore they were facing challenges in balancing public health needs with environmental protection. But to be honest, to think about that, we people should use our brain, because that's why it's here. Our brain is so magnificent that we can observe, study and think so much better, beneficial ideas than we actually doing right now. And we don't need to go far anyway. We just need to search this in the nature, because instead of using pesticides, there are many ideas what nature offers us and we can use in the garden, such as beneficial insects. One of the beneficial insects against bugs is ladybird. Here we go. This ladybird is a natural predator of aphids, mealybugs and other soft-bodied insects that plague gardens. And basically, if you planting some dill, fennel or yarrow, then you can attract these ladybugs and therefore gonna take care of your garden. Then another beneficial insects is the lacewings. Here we go, this is the lacewings. Beautiful, I think. So either the fly and also its larvae are consumes of aphids, mites and other small pests. And to encourage lacewings to come into your garden, then basically you need to make sure hiding places such as mulch piles and hedgerows. The third insect is the Trigogramma wasps. Here we go. So basically this tiny wasp is parasites the eggs of moths and butterflies, therefore they're preventing them from hatching into caterpillars. And actually these wasps you can purchase from garden supply stores, and you can release straight away into your garden. But apart from insects, there are many plant-based sprays as well, such as the neem oil. There we go. So neem oil is extracted from neem tree, and the neem oil is disrupt the feeding and the breeding of various insects. It's also effective against fungal diseases. Apply neem oil solution as a foliar spray, making sure to follow the instruction and avoid using it in hot weather as it can damage the plants. Then another plant-based is hot pepper spray. Spicy pepper like cayenne and jalapenos can be used to create a natural insect repellent. To do that, you need to chop or puree peppers, soak them in water, strain the mixtures and dilute it before spraying on the plants. But be careful because it's hot pepper, therefore handling them you need to wear gloves and avoid skin irritation, and definitely not to touch your eyes. And then there is garlic and onion spray. Here we go, pretty simple. Basically the strong odor of garlic and onion can deter insects. To create this spray you need to chop garlic and onion in water, then strain and then dilute before applying to the plants. And there is another solution which is sustainable. It's called the diatomaceous earth, or shortly DE. This is how it looks. You can purchase anywhere, even on Amazon anyway. And basically this naturally occurring powder made from fossilized algae, and is effective against crawling insects like ants, beetles and slugs as well. DE works by dehydrating insects with its microscopic sharp edge, and applying the dust around the base of the plant or sprinkle indirectly on the insects. It can be really beneficial and helpful, but careful not to inhale the dust. So as you see, these methods are natural, sustainable and generally safe for the environment, but it's important to use them correctly. Always follow the dilution and application instruction to avoid harming plants, of course. And remember, prevention is key. Therefore, maintaining healthy soil, encouraging beneficial insects and keeping your garden free of debris can go a long way into deterring pests. So this book, I think it's really good to read, to learn that not everything is good what you think is good, because it can be a long-term consequences for your health, for the nature health, for the plant health. And therefore try to use your brain and think about natural solutions, because before our technological tools, the nature already invented everything what we need to use it. Just we need to find out the right process how to use them, and after we can live in sustainably and we don't need such as pesticides. And lastly, the third book what I want to talk about, and I think is a really interesting one, is called The Entangled Life by Mᴉndatory. It was written by 2020, so not too long. This is the book, and basically this book is about the hidden world of fungi. It offers a journey into a fascinating realm of these often overlooked organisms. He reveals the intricate networks that fungi form with plants and trees, creating a symbiotic relationship crucial for healthy ecosystem. The book delves into the science of mycorrhizae, a web-like network of fungal filaments that connect with plant roots. Sheldrake also explores the role of fungi in decomposition. Furthermore, he talks about the fascinating world of slime molds, showing their intelligence and problem-solving abilities. Lastly, about psychedelic fungi, which have the potential to heal and transform consciousness. But Entangled Life is not just about fungi. It is a celebration of the interconnectedness of life on Earth. Sheldrake highlights the complex web of relationships that sustain our plant's ecosystem. Sheldrake warns of the danger of neglecting these vital organisms as we poison our soil. With his book, he calls for a new era of fungal appreciation and recognition of their importance in our world and our future. Therefore, he encourages us to look beyond the surface to discover the hidden beauty and complexity that's surrounding us. So after this short summary of this book, I still want to continue a talk about a little bit more about fungi because they are really interesting species. And because fungi are often overlooked and misunderstood they are actually the architects of our planet's ecosystem. They play a crucial role in maintaining the delicate balance of life because they are decomposers. Fungi are nature's recyclers. They break down dead plants and animals, returning essential nutrients to the soil. Without them, forests would be choked with debris and vital elements would be locked away from living organisms. Then there is the mycorrhizal partners, basically, as you can see here. So basically many fungi form symbiotic relationship with the plants. So these are the fungi and these are the plant roots. Known as a mycorrhizae. The fungi provides plants with water and essential nutrients, while the plants supply fungi with carbohydrates. This partnership crucial for the health and the growth of most plants on Earth. Another one is basically fungi soil builders. Fungi help create and maintain healthy soil structure. They bind soil particles together, preventing erosion and improving water retention. Then they are carbon sequestration. Here we go. The fungi play a vital role in carbon cycling. They help break down organic matters and incorporate carbon into the soil, contributing to carbon sequestration and mitigating climate change. And let's not forget, fungi are food. Here we go, look at that, so many various type of fungi. You can eat them. Many of our favorite foods wouldn't exist without fungi anyway. Fungi play a crucial role in bread production, cheese making, brewing beer and wine. Yeast, a type of fungus, is responsible for the fermentation process that gives these foods their unique flavors and textures. Mushrooms are delicious and nutritious food source, rich in protein and vitamins. And as fungi foods, they also medicines. These are different type of fungi, which is like a type of medicines. So certain fungi have been used for centuries in traditional medicine. Many antibiotics, such as penicillin, are driven from fungi. Researchers are exploring the potential of fungi to treat various diseases, including cancer and autoimmune disorders. Then fungi also can be used to clean up contaminated soil and water. Some species are capable of breaking down harmful pollutants such as heavy metals and pesticides. Fungi can be used to create sustainable materials such as leather alternatives and packaging material. It would be really nice that finally drop this plastic, because plastic is no good. We know that affect our body, we know affect our nature. Then why we can't change into something natural solution? And apart from fungi, there is also many different plants which can be alternatives for plastic, such as seaweed. So mycelium, the vegetative part of a fungus, and can be molded into various shapes and forms. As you can see, fungi is really important for this planet, and people could use in agriculture, so we can produce sustainably our food also. Because fungi improve crop yields and soil health, and they can help plant resist diseases and drought. And if it wasn't enough from fungi, then I brought some interesting fungi species and fungi facts. The first is a species, is a luminous fungi. Here we go. So basically, image that walking through a forest at night and encountering mushrooms that glows. Yes, they are glowing. Several species of fungi, like jack-o'-lantern mushrooms, emit bioluminescence, producing their own light. This light is thought to attract insects that help disperse fungal spores. There are another interesting species called zombie ants. Here we go. This is the picture, as you can see. So basically, it is a real phenomenon. So certain parasitic fungi infect ants, hijack their body and behavior, and then the fungus manipulates the ant to climb to a high level, which is going to be ideal for spore dispersal before killing it. Then, if you think that the largest organism on Earth belong to whale or a giant redwood tree, I want to tell you that actually the largest organism on Earth is this fungi. Here we go. This is called a honey fungus. Basically, it covers an estimated 2,385 acres of forest in Oregon, USA. This massive organism is a single genetic individual spreading through underground network of filaments. And interesting fact about fungi, so basically not only animals or humans can communicate, but also plants, and this includes fungi too. So basically this is a little picture that how fungi are communicating. There we go. So fungi, they communicate with each other, and research suggests fungi can use electric signals and chemical cues to exchange information about nutrition, threats, and even potential mates. And the last interesting facts about fungi, there we go. As you can see on the pictures, they can make complex networks, and actually scientists want to find out that how we can use these networks in the internet world, and also traveling such as underground, to find out the best way and the fastest way in underground lines. So yeah, this was about the Mᴉndatory show today. I brought for you 3 books. I really hope that it was interesting and you learned something, and maybe you're gonna read one of it, if not all of the 3. I think these are really interesting books because it can help you to understand a little bit more about our world and what is going on in the nature, and how we can help for the nature, such as not to use pesticides, and also how we can collaborate the nature. So thank you very much. Until then, see you next time. It was the Mᴉndatory show with me, Sándor. Bye bye. Take care, everyone.